What is up, everyone? What is up? What is up? I can't hear you, Phil.
Bold
You took yourself
ideas.
off the stage. You took yourself off the stage, bro. You weren't even on the stage. I just
No.
I just added you. Yeah, it's okay. Let's restart. What's up, everyone?
I'm Felix.
Ma-
Welcome to the Strategy Vault.
I'm Gio.
Crazy start, bro. Sorry, man. In every episode, we break down the strategies for major wins, bold ideas, and creative thoughts.
It's Winners
Um,
Wednesday today, and we're all about leveling up. So let's dive into the success stories and mindsets that drive extraordinary achievements.
Grab your notepad.
Or coffee and coffee. And
Let's
let's
crack
crack
open the
open
vault.
the vault. Well,
Man,
we seem to fumble the intro again, but on the bright side, we finally got the crack open the vault bit.
I
Not
think
bad,
so. Yeah,
actually.
we're getting there. We're getting there. Man, what a crazy day, man! What a crazy day! It's like we're getting in uncharted territory with this. Like we don't want to get this thing too political, but this is getting crazy now. This is getting out of hands for a lot of for a lot of people I know. They're getting paralyzed by the news and by everything that they hear. Donald Trump. Let's say it. I don't know for you, Jord. Today, when I heard about the news, about Amazon, all the stuff that's happening here in Quebec.
I saw that.
Um,
I saw that thing about Amazon. And the first thing that came to my mind, and keep in mind, I didn't really look into it, but the first thing I thought of, is it because of the language in Quebec? Is that why Amazon's leaving?
it's probably about everything,
The
they're
unionization?
anti-unions and they were getting unionized, so they left. But you know what? It really made me think because this is in the past. I was like anyone else. I was getting stressed out by all these news. I was watching the news. I was getting paralyzed watching TV. Well, last time I was watching the Ukraine war a few years
Hmm.
back. There was the pandemic, obviously, that stopped us. It forced stopped us. But I remember when the Ukraine war happened, I was watching Russia invading Ukraine, and I was watching these geopolitics um, specialists all day. And I was also part in vacation. I left with my wife. We were in the hotel, and I was watching the Russia Ukraine war, stressing about it, thinking about like all the implication it could have, like in Europe and all the economy and all that stuff. And it ended up like being it morphed into something, and we adapted. It's going to be the same thing, and we have to adjust. I watched the news today like everyone else. I got captivated by it for like 5 minutes, and I went back to what I was doing. I didn't change my focus. I didn't change my plans. I didn't change my course. I have to keep going. um and for people out there scared of like the tariffs and all that stuff, like, change your mind, change your attitude, just like change the way you see it. I don't know how, if it's possible for you to like visualize yourself saying, hey, come on down, Donald, come on down, come to Canada, bro, come on down, like let's rock it, instead of like Donald Trump, no. Just, I don't know, I have that vision of just like get that get that competition, like, out of here. Okay, no problem. Like if they want to like do that, we'll do that. If they want to play these rules, we'll play these rules, and we'll
Right,
adapt, and that's
right.
it.
And I do want to say, like, I understand people looking at the news and being scared and anxious and all those emotions. But if you look back throughout, like, throughout history, there's always crisis. There's always crisis, 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 crisis. And guess what? We always move forward, regardless of what it is. Whether it's COVID, whether it's the tariffs, whether it's the war, there's always something. We're never at a moment, as far as I can remember, that there's no crisis going on
Yeah,
there, and there's
you're right.
people that are freaking out. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? Well, guess
If it's
what?
your industry, it's if it's not your
Everything,
industry, it's the other one's industry. It's like it's always happening.
dude,
There's
like
always something
everything
happening,
always
right?
goes forward, and life goes on, and shit will like what can you do about it? Trump's putting on tariffs. Okay, that's Trump. Like, am I going to be pissed off at Trump for putting tariffs? I can't really be pissed off. I'll be like, what the role did me or my government do, or like, what can my government do to make a
Well,
difference?
some of these guys are shy right now. Some of these guys are trying to hide themselves. Like I don't want to talk about anyone in the room, but like our own Quebec prime minister was pretty shy this morning. He didn't know what to say about the uh, Amazon leaving the province, like literally
The
shutting
first
the
thing I
door.
thought, oh,
He had
another
nothing to
big
say.
corporation wants to leave Quebec. I'm like, shocking, like
He was not. He wasn't.
shocking.
It was.
I,
He
I, I
had a
I'm
weird.
not
He
gonna
had
say
that
that I
weird reaction. I don't know if you saw. He was talking about orange juice. He said, "I didn't have orange juice this morning." He had that very, very weird interaction with the journalist where he said, "Oh, I didn't have orange juice this morning." And he like cut the conversation. It was very weird. Like this guy, like you're not thinking responsible. What is that? Why are you making jokes? Like I don't know if it was a joke, some sort of like stressful, mind plays or what. I don't know what he was trying to do, but it didn't work. And obviously, like we found him weak in these situations. So like
yeah.
today we had the choice of like changing course, changing the thing. We didn't change a thing. This is still what we were supposed to do. But I feel like it's like fuel the fire. How massive action created unstoppable momentum. Like this is it. Like you need to keep doing what you've been doing, what's been working. Don't stop and don't put yourself excuses just because you've heard stuff on TV. For the most part, for most people, if you keep pushing like you've been pushing for the past weeks, the past months, you will find results and you will break through.
Look, what at the end of the day, what can you control? What can we control? Why am I going to sit down and sit back and complain over what Trump is doing? Like, it's not really any of my business, frankly. He wants to do what he thinks is best for Americans. I feel like every government should do that with to their own citizens. I feel like we in our lifetime, I don't remember a time where like our governments focused on the issues that actually matter,
Did the same
besides
thing
the
for us.
fact of like
Yeah.
language
Actually
laws,
stand up and
this,
do the same
that,
for
like,
us. Yeah.
like build hospitals, like make life more affordable, like stuff that are beneficial. I don't remember a, a time where we had that, like,
Our
anyways.
government that stands up and really like shake things up, like
Yeah, and it's like it
move
seems like it's
things in
always
the
been
on the
for the
first.
reasons, for the wrong reasons. Like, oh, the language is number one priority. Okay, I understand it's important, but it's like, okay, people can't feed their family, but like, hey,
They can't feed their
French
family, but
first.
hey, French is so like I'm
Yeah,
and you know that my first language is French. Everybody knows that. Like if you like just right now, just with what I've just like mumbled, you know that I'm French.
mm.
I have no problem with French, obviously, but this is not
Neither do the
amazing.
Anglos, though, fell. Like,
It's
I'm
not
an
a thing.
Anglophone. I'm an Anglophone, and I could tell you that I love the fact that Quebec has French and more multilingual. I love that, and a lot of English people love that. Like, I don't know how French would disappear. Like, I, I don't see it happening. Like, I agree. Like, okay, documents should be in French, schools should be in French. Totally agree with that. But then forcing people to speak French, like you cannot, like, business wise, like, oh, it has to be in French. Like, anyways,
And it
I don't
never
know.
worked. Let's be real, Jordan. It never worked. It never worked. It worked when they were in the office, but it never really worked. We
Yeah,
spoke English on the break times. I was happy to speak English with my coworkers.
like,
I was
in
actually
Europe,
happy to like develop my other language, my second
yeah,
language.
of course, because it makes you smarter. More languages.
I
You're
have
better
two
off.
language now. What are you
Of
talking about? These
course.
people, I don't talk English at work. What are you talking about? What are you
Yeah.
talking? My clients are speaking English.
And you
What
know
other
what, though,
language?
Fel? You know what's crazy is that it's not just in Quebec. Like, in France, it's also like that. Like, in France, if you go there and you try to speak English, they're gonna look at you weird. Like, it's just, I don't know if it's a French thing, or I don't know where it stems from. But all the other European countries, like I'm in Portugal, right? In Portugal, people speak English. They're happy to speak two languages. You know, they're happy to speak English. And certain, like, if I don't know what it is, why, if it goes back a certain period where like French was supposed to be the dominant language and any other language is like unacceptable. I don't know. I don't know if it's just if it's a French thing. I don't know what it is. But to me,
when you
to me,
go
I'm all about embracing multiple, and I think that's the beautiful about Quebec. I think that is one of it is the nice thing about Quebec is that we're multi-language. Like in Europe, there's so many different countries and so many different languages, and none of them are like Quebec, where there's
mm,
where like you go into a store, you're not sure if you should speak English or French. There's no place on earth, as far as I know, that's like that, and it's
bro,
I think
the
it's
most
really nice.
the most like I feel like the most beautiful um embodiment of this is when you go on like the there's no border obviously, but like the border from like that crosses Quebec and Ontario, like really close. The people on either sides, they
Yeah,
all speak both languages, and it's funny
of
because you
course.
get a lot of English on the Quebec side, and English streets and stuff like that. And when you cross on the Ontario side, there's a lot of French speaking. I went to like I was working in Ontario for like really countryside. It was in Clarence, Rockland, next to Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yep.
countryside. And I was amazed. Everybody was talking French.
They
Like
speak
at the
French. Yeah.
McDonald's, she answered me, bonjour, hi. She said, bonjour, hi. I said, bonjour.
Yeah, and I wonder
I was
over
like,
there if they're
what?
giving them shit. Hey, because
Ben
it's in
non, tu peux pas
Ontario.
faire ça, là. Non, 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 non.
I
Yeah.
wonder. I wonder if over there they're giving them shit. Hey, it's an English
Ben
province.
non, ben non, ben
I
non.
wonder. You know,
They're used to it. And they're making comments with commerce with like each side. So it's it's it's
dude.
really a
Ver veut
problem
pas.
for
Look,
people in the offices. Like it's really an
ver ou
office
veut
problem.
pas. Ver ou veut pas. English is the number one or number two most spoken language in the world. Every school on the planet needs to introduce it in their curriculum, and they do. In Europe, in Portugal, in schools in Portugal, they're taught English in schools. In Germany, they're taught English in schools. In Spain, they're taught English in schools. It's a mandatory thing. But then when you go in public, like most, well, it depends. Portugal more so because the touristic places, if you go into like touristic places, they speak more English, right? Because there's tourists and the people that work in tourism speak English as well. But I don't know why though. In well, if you go to the big city like Montreal, Montreal has a lot of English speakers, English speaking people. But if you go like really to Quebec, Quebec City, I wonder if there's a lot of English speaking people there.
Like I think all these protecting French and protecting it comes down to a deep root of like, and we're really off topic here, but at the same time really no, because it all comes down to like do more and practice another language, and insecurities and people not be able to do that, and being insecure, not being in but not being able to speak another language, a second language, and develop in another language, and having to see some, oh, I go to Montreal and I see a bunch of English signs. Well, it's part of the city's history. Like part of city
Mm-hmm.
histories is English, and you're gonna have to deal with that. You can't just cancel everything just for the sake of your eyes not being able to see something. Do you do that when you go to New York? Oh my
It's because
God, it's so
I guess they're
English.
scared. They're scared. They think they're gonna lose it. They think that French is gonna be gone by them discouraging. Like, how could you discourage companies? Like why are big companies discouraged of being here and wanting to go to Ontario and wanting to go to English places? Like, I don't
It's
know the real reason why, but it just seems like all the big companies want to leave Quebec because of the language and you know.
well, massive thought here. Like we're not 10,000 on the podcast, but I'm pretty sure like most would agree that big companies here are struggling, and they're mostly just maintaining their brand, because as soon as you cross a bridge, or you cross the border, or you go to Ontario, you see a lot more of locations of these brands. You come here, you have to drive 35 kilometers just to go to, like, I don't go to KFC, I don't go to these brands, but
Mm.
definitely they're having a hard time finding people. just buying chicken. And so they have one or two locations, and they're fine with that in a certain parameter. So you don't have that when you go on in these other provinces. They have a better, I don't know, better solutions, better way of accepting these businesses and encouraging businesses. But let's be real. Like, we're 15 minutes in.
Let's give a quick shout out here to Stratégie Conseil. If you're an entrepreneur looking to scale your business or navigate financial challenges, they're the team you need. From finding solutions to strategic planning, they help businesses unlock their full potential. Visit them online to learn more and take your business to the next level.
Yeah, especially in these times, guys. I feel like we're gonna need a new game plan for the next few months. It changes so fast, man. It changes so fast.
How can we find opportunity in those tariffs? Maybe we could also find opportunity. So now what? When Americans buy from us, like think about it. We complain our dollar is so low compared to the Americans. Well, hey, guess what? If you sell to the Americans, all of a sudden you're more attractive because Americans buying your stuff with their stronger dollar, you might get more sales, right? Like, there's always something. There's always like an opportunity in the chaos somewhere. Just gotta find it. So how could you like find an opportunity with this 25% tariffs? I don't know at the top of my head, but I'm sure there's something you can do, Fel. No?
Well, like there's a bunch of, they were talking about a bunch of different companies having different solutions. Some of them will sell to Europe. One of these guys said, "I don't care. Like I will just sell my I will continue sell. I'm selling to these clients, the high ticket clients. They love my product. I have a very different product. We really trust our technology. So we're just gonna keep selling the same product to the same clients at that 25% margin, top margin, and they're just gonna keep buying." Some of these guys are all worried, my friend. So I feel like
a lot of people are worried.
Just keep pushing.
Oh, man. Trump this, Trump that. Like,
just keep pushing. Just keep doing the good things that you were doing. It sounds so weird saying that because I just said a little earlier, you were talking about Stratégie Conseil, you need a new game plan. Well, for some of you guys, you need a new game plan because your game plan was already not right. You need to have a game plan to embrace change and embrace flexibility. So that's why you need a new game plan. If your game plan was already, if you're like this guy that I was seeing, he was talking about just selling his machine. He trusts his technology. He's going to increase his art. He's just going to keep pushing his R&D and keep doing the same. If you know where you're investing, first you don't want to, you want to keep some mystery. He was not going to tell on TV all these secrets and why he's trusting his technology, but he knows what he's doing. I like this guy. He was selling scanners.
Which guy are you talking about? Sorry, I'm lost.
He was on TV. He was talking about the Trump tariffs, and he has a business here in Quebec. I just can't remember the name of the business, but this guy was just he sells these very expensive $400,000 scanners for these high-end companies. They buy his scanners because they're very specific industry scanner, whatever. But he wasn't scared, and so should like all the other people. Like, our economy will find ways. And who's our economy? It's you and me. It's us. We need to find ways. We found ways during the pandemic. That's why I'm here. And we're going to find ways by doing what? By sitting in front of TV.
You're absolutely right, bro. You're absolutely right. And that's amazing advice.
We need to keep working. We need to keep showing up.
There's nothing good that's going to happen from just sitting down and complaining about things that are happening around you. Even if it's your own, even though like sometimes I hate what my government does, but like, what can I do? What can I do? The only thing I could do is go vote when there's time to vote, and then pray that my choice of candidate gets elected. But even at that, like,
this is not a big company. This we're not a multinational national like we're not in the States. You know, our biggest competitors they're already in the United States. They have buildings everywhere. They're managing buildings everywhere. They're almost $1 billion company. We're not there yet. I should be scared. We should be scared. We should be scared. Should be scared. I'm not, because I know some people are, and I know some opportunities will show up, and I know that right now some people are contracting. But while people are contracting, people lose. If people lose, there's a hole. There's a gap. You're you're gonna some
So less
people
competition,
somehow
basically, right? So
will need to fill in that gap. Will you?
because so what you're saying, because when people are contracting, there's kind of like less competition, right? So there's more space.
There's less fish in the pond, so there's more alga to eat.
Yeah.
Algae.
But isn't the formula to just keep going regardless the economic situation, regardless, to just keep going, keep doing those
Yes.
sales calls, keep advancing, don't contract, but just keep going. Like for example, like when times are really rough and it's like, oh, it's Christmas. Well, Christmas you could argue, but there's certain periods where it's slow, you know. But isn't the best formula to just keep going, just keep going, just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Just like he says in the book, he's talking about the law of inertia, and we all know the law of inertia. Um,
Momentum, having momentum.
once you're in motion, first, bro, it's like this podcast when we started. When we started, it was a grind. I remember it being a grind, and you remember it being a grind because we had to like figure out everything at the beginning. Every episode was a grind. We had to like really put a lot of thought process into one episode.
Yeah.
And here we are, 81 episodes later. I think, is it 80? 81? I think it's, we should have 81 here, no? I think we're at 81. 80 was yesterday.
Oh, shit. Anyways,
Yeah,
but that, you know what? And in one word, I'll tell you why. And that word is called template. Template. We have a template. We have a skeleton now.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's so much easier now. We have our formula that we plug in, and then our whole episode, our whole structure is already in place.
But
and then all we got to do is
how do you create that template? Like, you can't have a perfect template like that from day one.
No, of course not. From day one, you're doing everything. You're doing it. You're setting up your template. And you're not only setting up your template, you're also trying out what works and you're ditching what doesn't work. So you're in constant like trying and error. So it's a lot more work at the beginning, as with anything. Then as time goes on, as you make mistakes, as you learn, you kind of perfect a certain template. And like, okay, this is going to be the body of our message. This is what we want to talk, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm going to bring in this point. You're going to bring in this point, yada, yada, yada. And then once you have that set up, then the rest is all easy. Then it takes to plan it. What does it take? 30 minutes, and we can plan our, not even,
30 minutes.
So
it
that's
becomes less work as you go, and you become more professional.
Yeah.
And you get more like it's a numbers game. It's really the hardest part is starting and not stopping. Telling yourself, hey, I'm not gonna stop. So if it's posting every day, post every day. Do something. Your biggest problem is not Donald Trump. Your biggest problem right now is obscurity. Nobody knows you.
Nobody
knows your name.
Yeah.
Or your business name.
And you know what? I see Grant Cardone's ads everywhere, bro. I see them several times a day, man. And I'm just like, after a while, but who cares? Who cares? Who cares? He doesn't care that I'm annoyed at his ads. He doesn't give a shit. But then there's a certain admiration I have, like, shit, man, this guy's killing it. This guy's just constantly putting himself out there. Who cares if people are fed up? Not everybody saw it. Maybe I saw it several times because it's in my algorithm, whatever. But it's like you said, it's all about obscurity. Just keep fucking pushing, pumping. Just keep pushing content out there, getting yourself out there.
We can't say it enough, bro.
Build that fire that he talks about in the chapter. Build a massive fire that people want to come close to your fire and get warmth. And
Bro,
the
I
thing
want
about
to.
momentum, you spoke about momentum. Momentum doesn't just make things easier; it builds confidence. You know, when you're constantly taking massive action, you kind of feel like unstoppable. You know, the energy becomes contagious. It attracts people, opportunities, and it attracts more success. The key is to not let it fade. You can't let momentum fade. You know, most people they stop when they hit a certain milestone. But that's when you need to double down and push harder. No, Fel, wouldn't you agree? Like, I don't know. I remember when I was starting off in sales, and I got when I had like 4 or 5 terminals for the week. Midweek, I'd be like, I can
Ah,
relax
yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
could
yeah, yeah,
chill.
yeah.
I'm good. I'm safe. Steve, I don't know if you're watching, but I'm like, okay, Steve's not going to be on my back. I'm good. I have 5 termies for the week. I could just chill for Thursday, Friday, and just get by.
That
You
was
know,
the worst. When you think about it, that was the worst. So
the
when you
worst,
had these feelings, it was the worst.
bro. The worst, because like that's the moment where you're making calls and you're not worried about rejection because you're like, oh, I have 5 termies. Oh, perfect. Use that to make more calls, and it's like this thing you have in your brain. It's like you don't care if people say no to you, and you should use it to your advantage, not just in making phone calls, but just in everything. Like, bro, let me send out more, pump out more deals, pump out more applications. So I really like when he
You're
says you
right.
got to ride that,
You gotta
not
go.
let it.
Like I've had this quote. I don't remember from who. This guy was like, "Every day I go again as if I was broke, like the same way as if I had nothing."
Yeah,
So I have to come back home with at least something, and then when I wake up the next day, I go again as if I had zero, and I'm using that in my business in some way, where I delegated most of the everyday part of the bank account, so I don't get to see what's in there. I don't see it improving. I don't see it, like, I just have you know checkpoints throughout the time where I see the data, I have the data, I have access to the data, but it's only data. So bank accounts are only data, and they should be driven and understood and talked about in that sense. Like, money is a tool, and what's in your bank account is only fucking data. It's not important, not a priority, not you should check that all the time, because your obscurity problem is blocking you from having all that business, having all that blessing, call it whatever you want. So most people, they lack the understanding of how much they are wasting when they are overthinking and being anxious all day. Like, the fixing of that problem is really action. It's really posting something on LinkedIn, like commenting on something. If you're really stuck and you really don't know what to do, go on LinkedIn and start just like
Exactly.
get interested. Get
Bro,
interested on something
I, I,
interesting on LinkedIn. Please do
I
that.
I love that. I love that because like you could easily replace like doom scrolling on TikTok with like going on LinkedIn or going or even staying on TikTok and building your TikTok account and commenting on TikTok stuff or commenting instead of just doom being there just to like
Being like the consumer of the
yeah, exactly.
matrix.
Use it exactly. If you when you have a TikTok account that you're trying to grow, like
Jeez.
you can comment on stuff and people will follow you. Like comment, like still watch those videos, but comment, like, and you'll actually get people to follow you. Um, so yeah, bro, Uninet. Who's Uninet, Phil? Who is Uninet? I'm gonna get the
Oh,
visual up here.
thanks for letting me know, because right now I think I am a little bit off topic and late on the thing. So we have I was about to put it. Thanks. We have to do a quick shout out to Les Entretiens Uninet. If you're running a business and want to keep things spotless without worrying about it, these are the folks to call. So they're all about reliability and making sure everything runs smoothly. Trust me, they get it done. And by the way, the cool part about Uninet is they're helping us on the channel here. They're gonna be starting doing weekly giveaways, guys. Weekly giveaways, weekly we're gonna give out. I think they're gonna be giving out free window washing for spring, deep cleans with the steam cleaners. They told me the steam clean and stuff like that. So the only thing we need to do is we need to hit 100 subscribers. So if you're out here listening, please. Could you put the link down here, George? Do you have the link for our channel, so people could just subscribe to the Strategy Vault podcast on YouTube? We need 100 subscribers on the Strategy Vault channel to start the weekly giveaways with Uninet. So if you haven't yet, help us reach that milestone, guys. We're gonna go fast forward here because I got exceptionnel. Normally it's you who's very rushed with things after the live. Now it's me. But let's talk a little bit about what do we have here?
Well, here, let me just give a quick shout out to our friends over there at
Benta. Yeah, I'm hungry, bro. That's why I can't find my.
I'm starving. You know what I like? You know what I love after a busy day, Phil?
I know what feels like home,
but serves food way better than I could ever make, and that's why I keep going back to a Quinta restaurant. Their Portuguese grilled dishes unmatched, and don't get me started on their wines. And seriously, if you're in Montreal, you got to check them out. 1851 Ontario East. Or just hit them up at aquinta.ca. You'll thank me later.
Thank you, Jordan.
You're welcome, sir.
So
yeah, man. So that's it. That's it for me, man. That's it. I'll let you wrap things up over there,
bro. I just want to tell people, like, don't stress about all these external factors, all these Trump factors, all these Donald. Whatever they say, factors. You need to keep going on the agenda. You need to keep your focus. I know you can. I know you have it in you. If you're a human, you're gonna adapt. We're gonna adapt like all together. We have tricks. Nothing's gonna fall together. Like if you keep it together, nothing's gonna fall. So let's keep it at that. I gotta go, man. I'm sorry to cut it short. Tomorrow,
let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you guys think about Donald Trump and his tariffs. And
I want to know if people are anxious about their business. They think that it's really going to affect their business, and they're scared. They want to talk about it. We're gonna find solutions for them live. I want to hear about it. I'm really interested. Let's find workarounds for your business and just keep it tight. Keep our Canadian business tight all together, proper fire. We're gonna do it. So tomorrow, Tactic Thursdays, same time. Be there. Thank you, guys. Thank you for listening, George.
Thank you very much, guys. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like. Really helps us out a lot, guys. Thank you very much. Love you guys.
It's bedtime music. Let's go.
Of course.
His name is John.
Cena.
Oh, shit. I hope you don't get a copyright strike.
No.
I stopped it right away. Take it easy, guys.
Panama.